Well, let's go back to our lead story this afternoon, and that was the decision in court today regarding the sentencing of Gerhard Ackerman. And Miranda Jordan-Friedmann with Women and Men Against Child Abuse, their senior director, joins me now. Miranda, the horror that lies behind the sentence is immense, and you have championed the cause of justice in this matter for many months now. How did you feel after hearing that sentence?
Extremely happy. It was a huge and powerful sentence today. When someone is sentenced to life imprisonment, it really says that why they are getting the sentence, because they have decimated the lives of someone else. And in this case, he decimated the lives, he destroyed the lives of so many young boys that were trafficked to a sex ring, to be abused, to be raped, and to be raped by men that had HIV. It was a profound, strong sentence that sent out a huge message. We thank Judge Ishmael for this and really discarding some of the defenses that Ackerman has said regarding his lack of responsibility and accountability. And that this was not a big thing that had happened to these boys.
Let's pick up on what you've just talked about. This man tried to run from the charges. He showed no remorse during the trial. And given his response to the sentence that he would ask for a retrial, paint a picture of a man who acted with impunity and arrogance. Even as Judge Ishmael revealed the sentence, he raised his hands and had to be reprimanded. How important, Miranda, would it have been to the victims for him to have at least admitted responsibility?
I think it would have been very big for it. I think that is probably the very least that they would have liked, is some kind of accountability to what he actually did to them. These are young, vulnerable boys that were lured up on a false pretense, and what happened to them and the devastation afterwards, in the sense that so many have talked about thinking of committing suicide. Trying to get their life back on track is going to be huge for most of them. What happened to them with those men is absolutely horrific. And I think the fact that there was the sort of shrugging and answering back and complete lack of respect by Ackerman in court just showed he absolutely compassionless human being, a person who chooses not to take any kind of accountability and responsibility, and the fact that he also minimizes what happened to them. And I think the fact that you bring children up, you transport them, knowing what you are going to, and you benefit from that financially, and you see nothing wrong in that. I think is a very, very dangerous human being, and it's somebody that must be kept away from society.
You saw in that exchange at the end with our reporter, again, that classic, tactic of his of minimizing. Miranda, how do the victims begin to rebuild their lives, especially given that a large number of them come from disadvantaged backgrounds?
Absolutely. This is another thing on top of so much they've already had to overcome. And it will be very specialized and long-term therapy. And I really have to say that, we think children are so resilient and that they will overcome in time, and that I think it will be very difficult for them to completely overcome what happened to them. If they can be functional to an extent and go on and lead some kind of productiveness and have some kind of happiness, I think that will be a lot.
It really makes the heart sore, hey? What support is there, Miranda, to shift focus a little bit for those who might believe that they have, tendencies of pedophilia and want to do something about those urges? I mean, there's a stigma attached to that. There's a great deal of fear around that, and understandably so, especially in contexts like ours where there are high levels of violence against children. But what resources and help are out there?
There are programs that will work with, and in particular, young offenders. I think when you get somebody, when they become a career and older offenders who've committed this crime for many, many years and are quite ruthless about it, I think the prognosis of rehabilitation is very difficult. But I think young offenders who show tendency towards sexually abusing and hurting other children, I think these are the kind of programs that are available, and there are a number of organizations, and certainly an organization like Childline or ourselves could refer to groups that work with young offenders, and I'm talking about those in their late teens and early 20s, before they become this kind of serial offender who just damages an inordinate amount of young lives.
It's a big day for justice, Miranda, but again, as you say, the legacy of that wounding and that destruction will live with those victims potentially for the rest of their lives. Miranda Jordan-Friedmann, Women and Men Against Child Abuse Senior Director, talking to us about this decision today to sentence Gerhard Ackerman to those concurrent life sentences.